Greetings and salutations and iridescence, it is Iowa Photech, and here we go with another little review. This time for Dungeons & Dragons 5th Edition Starter Set, Rick and Morty versus Dungeons & Dragons versus Rick and Morty. It comes with a 64-page rule booklet, The Lost Dungeon of Rickness, Big Rick Energy, a 44-page original adventure, a Dungeon Master screen, 5 pre-generated character sheets, 11 polyhedral dice. It's a thinner one overall, the box, than the Essentials kit, but put that back up there. But it is not quite as chonky as the Paizo boxes, and you'll see in a few videos why the Paizo boxes are so chonky. But anyways, it's actually quite a fun little box set. It has a lot of Rick and Morty fun in it. You know, I would absolutely love if there was a Futurama Dungeons and Dragons 5th Edition box set, or a Pathfinder versus Futurama box set. That would be cool. But okay. Can't have everything happen in our dreams. Basic top, as usual for Dungeons and Dragons. You got a little baggie of dice. I do give them points because they give you a Ziploc bag for your dice, where all the other sets are basically you rip the bag open and you have to throw it away because the bag no longer works as a bag anymore for your dice. You get all the essential dice. This is the correct number of dice to give in a box set. See my other reviews for box sets, starter set box sets, to see why that matters. But you get a D4, you get 4 D6s, you get a D8, a D10, a D10s dice, a D10s. So it's that one right there is a D10s. See, it's 10 increment. You get a D12, which is this guy right here. And you get 2 D20s, which are these two right here. That way you can roll advantage and disadvantage. You can roll up your character stats for your characters if you wanted to roll character stats. And you have a D10 and a D10s, or a percentage dice combination, so you can actually do percentage checks. In this book, this is actually a really nice set overall. It is another 64-page book, which is the same exact size as Spelljammer for 5th edition books. So that's basically what you're getting for Spelljammer 5th edition in thickness, but in a hardcover. You have some really nice Rick and Morty artwork in here. I do love Rick and Morty. You get some blurbs from Rick Sanchez, which are quite actually they're hilarious. They're funny, but not absolutely hilarious. They're still pretty good. It's actually a really well put together book overall. This is in line with sort of the Essentials kit in quality, but it's slightly simplified down. So this is actually this magical intersection spot, this book, between the original starter set and the Essentials kit. It's Essentials kit quality as far as the book is concerned, but it's pared down to this original starter set in information. Just because they kind of had to stick in some humor here. Insight checks, animal handling, etc. With a little goofy comics with the various characters as different classes. That's a really melee combat focused wizard, or Rick. It's actually very well written out overall, and it gives you a good feel as to what the different character classes can do. As I said, there's still a good chunk of humor in here. Although that does kind of get annoying when you're on a job site and all the young kids keep pulling out their phones to play on them. And then they wonder why they don't get raises and shit like that. Come on, you're at work. You need to get your work done. But this is a darn good book overall. It has good quality, a lot of good humor. It explains everything quite well without being overly wordy. And then what I mean by overly wordy is that sometimes when you're reading a rules book, they could over describe things, or they could use really thick metaphors or story examples that are vague, which actually adds more complexity to the understanding of the rules or mechanics, because now you have to deal with 20 concepts instead of just like dealing with the core concepts you're trying to work through for that piece. Some classic humor. Funny, ha ha ha. You know, you really just need to laugh at those things. But this is actually a pretty good book overall. You got, weirdly enough, you get a spellcaster from the other books getting tossed into the Rick and Morty book. They really should have redid that and just did a different did one of the Rick and Morty characters for that scene. Sometimes they just kind of like just toss a D effort kind of thing, like less than average minimum. But overall, this is actually a really good book overall. You got your Shield of Faith. You get enough information here and there. Then you got some good artwork. There is nothing really special on the backside for things. It's just more humor. And then you got the DM screen, which actually has a rather humorous and insightful scene on the front of it. And on the back side, it has all the essentials of the basics Dungeon Master screens, but replaced with Rick and Morty characters and Rick and Morty humor or flavored in. Like, Morty is all the monsters. And as a turn of events, Beth's cleric character is being charmed. Usually you get guys he's being charmed in artwork. It's nice to actually see some equality and have the girls get charmed and mind controlled. Then you got the book, The Lost Dungeon of Rickedness, Big Rick Energy. And this is actually a pretty good book. This is actually more in line with classic Dungeons & Dragons, advanced era Dungeons & Dragons. It's more to the point. It doesn't waste your time with too much overfluff, but still, there is still enough personality or flavor thrown in here and there that it gets the job done. I don't want to show you everything in the book, because if players are watching, you got the section on magic items. This is a level 1 to level 3 adventure. Yet again, they have this. This is one of those instances where they should have did Rick and Morty versions of all these monsters, because it's just a missed opportunity to Rick and Morty some more because I do really like Rick and Morty. Rick and Morty for 1,000 years. But if I could trade like a season of Rick and Morty for another 10 seasons of Futurama, I would do that. But I really actually don't want to trade because I want more of both. I love both. Now you're also going to see something really interesting when I do this. These are full color sheets. They're actually really high quality. Morty is a really tiny orc rogue. Specifically, they give you the rules from level 1 to 5 in here, and he's specifically a thief rogue. So they're going with SRD characters again, but it's actually well written out. You got Ari Stormbow. So you got Keith Silverson for Morty. Ari Strongbow for Summer. Car Brevin for a wizard. What type of wizard is he? As I said, they're going to most likely be just the SRD class subclasses, which is evocation. You got Layan Armitha, which is a wood elf cleric. She actually has a background of soldier. She is specifically, where's level 2? She's specifically a life cleric. And you got Meatface. For whatever reason, they went and went with him for the barbarian. And they even have a nice little section up here describing the character. And he is specifically, I believe, a berserker barbarian with basic improved critical. And then, as you can see, there's technically, I think there's supposed to be 6 sheets in this. 5 pre-generated characters. I actually got a 6th one. I got an extra Ari Strongbow. And a little advertisement for the Rick and Morty comic versus Dungeons & Dragons, as well as an advertisement for Wizards of the Coast products in the back. So as I was saying before, this is actually a pretty good set, and I like it a lot. I mean, I like it a lot, but I always love more Rick and Morty. By the way, if Wizards of the Coast is watching, I want a sequel. I want a sequel to this adventure. I want an adventure that goes from level 5 to 10 for this. So there you go. It does not say on the box what levels this adventure goes to. I'm going to pull it all back out again. Okay, this goes from level 1 to 3, but it contains rules 1 to 6 in it. Which is why I had a hard time remembering, because they usually only give you enough rules in these starter sets specifically for the adventure. But, okay. Now on to the review time. This is a really interesting place for this set. I'm a Rick and Morty fan. I love Futurama too. I would love more of this Rick and Morty universe Dungeons & Dragons. Please, Wizards of the Coast, give me more Rick and Morty universe Dungeons & Dragons adventures. This should be a new setting. If there was a whole setting book for Rick and Morty Dungeons & Dragons, I would buy it. I would buy it for $75. I want Rick and Morty's Dungeons & Dragons. That being said, I had to park my love of Rick and Morty. I would also love Futurama version of Dungeons & Dragons off to the side, because it would contaminate my score on this. This would be a 4.5 approximately. or 4.25. It's kind of in there or between there. This is, the rules are a little more pared down to the starter set. So the starter rules are more in line with the original starter set for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So that's the strongest point of that box set right there, is the rules. But everything else in this box is more in line with the Essentials Kit starter set for Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. So this is like a 4.25 or 4.5 here, set on the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition scale. Compared to other gaming systems, starter sets like Call of Cthulhu, Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay starter set, Starfinder Beginner Box, Pathfinder 1st or 2nd edition starter boxes, the score would fall. Wizards of the Coast kind of underdoes everyone for the price point and what's in the box. But still, this is actually a pretty good one. It comes with a 64-page rule booklet. It's more in line with the starter set rule booklet, but it's still well constructed. The adventure in here is only 44 pages, but it is actually a really fun adventure, level 1 to 3. So that's actually really nice. The Dungeon Master screen is just a basic sheet, but it's still really nice. The quality of information and usefulness of the information for beginner Dungeon Masters is still high quality. You got 5 pre-generated character sheets, which is nice. The character sheets are really well done. I really do like them. There is no blank character sheet. That would have been nice, is to have a template for the Rick and Morty universe version character sheet in a blank. If Wizards of the Coast is doing updates to their starter sets, I would absolutely want an update version to this one with more content, and throw in a few more Rick and Morty characters as different classes, and that would be awesome. You got 11 Polyhedral Dice, which is the standard for any Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition game, and any other edition of Dungeons & Dragons. You should have, in the modern era of Dungeons & Dragons, have 11 dice, 4 d6s, a d10, and 2 d20s. That's the minimum. The starter set underdoes that. See that video for that rant. This set is actually darn good. As I said, it's a 4.5 on the Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition scale. That diminishes like by 2 to 3 stars as compared to other tabletop game starter sets. This is actually really good. If you want to run a Rick and Morty universe Dungeons & Dragons experience, this is the absolute buy right now. This is the buy. As far as starter sets are concerned, the Essentials Kit is still king. That's still king. Go check out that video. See that one. That's still the king of these starter sets. But this is like the next up contender to it. This is the one that's closest to challenging it, but still doesn't beat it. It's minus a few things, but plus in others. The Rick and Morty part and the humor is the extra icing, seeing that pulls it up towards the starter set, the Essentials Kit. The original starter set is like a falling value compared to the other starter sets. So, thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like on it and consider subscribing, and leave a comment below telling me what you like the most about my videos. Or if you dislike my videos, leave a dislike, leave a comment below telling me why you disliked my videos. That way I can read it and think about it. And consider still subscribing to my channel so you can give me more feedback on my crappy videos. Okay? Thank you very much for watching my videos. See you next time. Have a delightful day, a nice night, a wonderful week, and a magnificent month.